Since the dawn of modern science, we have uncovered much of what the natural world has to offer, from the deepest jungles to the highest mountain peaks. And yet, one of the most remarkable frontiers has been hiding in plain sight beneath the frozen ground of Siberia and the Arctic. Permafrost soil that has remained below freezing for more than 2 years covers roughly 15% of the northern hemisphere, and for tens of thousands of years it has been quietly preserving things that have no business still existing. As global temperatures rise and that ice begins to melt, what's coming out of the ground is forcing scientists to rethink everything they thought they knew about life, death, and time. These are 5 of the most extraordinary creatures ever pulled from the permafrost. The first find on this list stopped researchers cold the moment they saw it, not because of what it was, but because of what it looked like. Sparta is a cave lion cub discovered in Yakutia, Siberia in 2017. At 28,000 years old, she showed almost no signs of decay. Fur intact, whiskers present, organs preserved, claws still sharp enough to draw blood. The only damage was slightly ruffled fur. Many consider her the best preserved Ice Age animal ever found. She was discovered near another cub named Boris, and paleontologists assumed they were siblings, until dating revealed they were completely unrelated and Boris was 15,000 years older. 2 cubs dying in the same small area, thousands of years apart, told researchers the location mattered to the species, but injuries inside both pointed to collapsed dens or landslides as the cause of death. Sparta also revealed that cave lions grew significantly faster than modern lions. She was extraordinary in every way, but she wasn't the only ancient animal that humans decided to get uncomfortably close to. In 1979, gold miners in Alaska broke through frozen ground and found a steppe bison sealed in the permafrost for over 36,000 years. Its skin had absorbed vivianite, a blue iron phosphate mineral, giving the animal an eerie blue tint that inspired the name Blue Babe. A paleontologist examining it then made a decision that is difficult to explain by any conventional scientific logic. He carved a section from the animal's neck, cooked it, and served it to guests. They noted a gamey smell and a flavor more challenging than enjoyable. But as bizarre as eating a prehistoric bison was, the next discovery on this list contained something far more impossible than edible meat. In 2018, scientists working at the Betagaika crater of Russia, a vast depression so unsettling that locals call it the mouth of hell, uncovered a 42,000-year-old baby horse. The foal was just 2 weeks old at the time of its death, likely trapped in mud and killed by thirst. Its fur was still soft, its hooves intact, its eyelashes still in place. But what truly set this discovery apart was what researchers found during the autopsy: liquid blood. Not traces, actual red liquid blood, the oldest ever recovered from any animal in history. The permafrost had preserved the foal's fluids in a way that should have been physically impossible, and scientists were quick to note that the intact blood could one day provide the genetic material needed to bring the species back from extinction. But the next find on this list took the idea of resurrection even further. Yucca is the most significant mammoth specimen ever recovered. Of more than 25,000 mammoth remains pulled from the Siberian permafrost, none come close to matching her condition. A juvenile dated to 28,000 years ago, still with portions of her reddish-brown coat intact. Her preservation was so complete that it gave scientists an opportunity nobody had ever had before. Researchers isolated the genetic material from her preserved cells and introduced it into active mouse eggs in a laboratory setting. Those nuclei began exhibiting movement never before coaxed from ancient genetic material, early biological signals that the cellular machinery was attempting to function again. Previous attempts had failed entirely. It was not a living cell, but it was a measurable step forward, and many believe it brings the revival of the woolly mammoth meaningfully closer to reality. Yucca made clear that extinction under the right conditions might not be as permanent as we assumed, but perhaps the most remarkable find in the permafrost wasn't an animal at all. In 1993, a paleontologist excavating in the Republic of Altai made a discovery that went far beyond anything they had expected. Beneath layers of permafrost sat a sealed burial chamber belonging to a woman who lived roughly 2,500 years ago. She was a member of the Prehistoric culture, a nomadic Iron Age people, and her preservation was remarkable enough that the tattoos covering her skin were still clearly visible. What surrounded her told a story of considerable standing horses, food, ceremonial objects, and notably, cannabis, which researchers believe she may have relied on to cope with significant physical pain. Analysis of her remains suggested she was likely suffering from a serious illness, possibly a tumor, or had sustained severe injuries. She was young, probably no older than 30, when she died, and was laid to rest in a tomb that the permafrost would seal and protect for over 2 millennia. Even more striking was the discovery of a second tomb placed directly on top of hers, belonging to an entirely different group of people who had found the site centuries later and claimed it for their own dead. The permafrost had preserved both, untouched, one on top of the other for thousands of years. These 5 finds represent some of the most extraordinary discoveries ever pulled from the Earth, and as more permafrost melts, more are certain to follow. The hope is that what comes next stays on the right side of remarkable, because the same ground releasing these wonders is also thawing out ancient anthrax, smallpox, and viruses inactive for thousands of years.